The Legend of Zelda series is a classic in the video game world, and it has sort of fallen into a rhythm and found its footing in the last 35 years. There are a few tropes or gameplay elements that many of us closely associate with this series, and these things keep us coming back. Hello everybody, I'm Nintera, and I make new Legend of Zelda videos every single Wednesday, so if you want to get notified when those are uploaded, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. With that, let's get into the video. Here are my 6 favorite tropes or reoccurring gameplay elements in the Legend of Zelda series. Number 1, the game starts with Link waking up. So we'll start this list with the trope that most Legend of Zelda games start off with, and that is Link waking up. In almost every single Legend of Zelda game, Link starts off asleep or is knocked unconscious pretty quickly after the game starts. We see this trope in A Link to the Past, Ocarina of Time, Wind Waker, Minish Cap, Phantom Hourglass, Spirit Tracks, Skyward Sword, A Link Between Worlds, and Breath of the Wild. And in Link's Awakening, Majora's Mask, Oracle of Seasons, Four Swords Adventures, and Twilight Princess, Link is technically awake at the beginning of the game, but is knocked out pretty quickly and then wakes back up before the real adventure begins. Each Link waking up at the beginning of his respective game represents his awakening as the holder of the Triforce of Courage and the beginning of his adventure. Before his adventure begins, Link in these games is just a normal boy. He lives an ordinary life as one of the Kokiri, a big brother, a farmhand, a student. Then some huge event throws his calm, happy life upside down, and Link is forced to both literally and figuratively have an awakening that would turn him into the hero of his era. Number 2, the Triforce. The Triforce is the most powerful item in the Legend of Zelda series, as it can grant whoever holds it a wish. The Triforce was created by the Golden Goddesses Din, Nehru, and Furore after they created the world, and it has been protected by the Hyrulean royal family for thousands and thousands of years. The Triforce is also the driving force for the main villain in many of the Legend of Zelda games. In A Link to the Past, Ganon is able to collect the entire Triforce, sending Link and Zelda to the Dark World in the process. In Ocarina of Time, Ganondorf pursues the Triforce so that he can take over Hyrule. In Wind Waker, Ganondorf obtains the whole Triforce and attempts to use it to resurface Hyrule from underneath the Great Sea. The themes of courage, power, and wisdom, and just the number 3 are seen in the series a lot more than just the Triforce though. Major regions of the overworld are named after the Golden Goddesses like Faron Woods, Lanayru Desert, and Elden Volcano. In some of the games we see 3 major guardians like the Deku Tree, Jaboon, and Valoo. I guess what I'm saying is the themes of power, wisdom, and courage and the number 3 show up all over the Legend of Zelda series. And I guess so does the number 4, but that's a theory for another day. Number 3, the Zelda Formula. The Zelda Formula is a general series of events that most games in the Legend of Zelda series follow. The formula goes a little bit like this. Link wakes up and is called on an adventure from the small town he lives in. We have Kokiri Forest, Outset Island, Ordon Village, Skyloft. Then, something bad happens and Link is forced to leave his home village, such as the Deku Tree dying, Link's sister being kidnapped, Link's friends being taken, Zelda falling out of the sky. Next, Link collects 3 artifacts, amulets, orbs, something like that, most likely from a forest location, a water location, and a fire location. Then, a big twist happens and the rest of the game proceeds in a different way than the beginning did. Then, finally, there's a big showdown with the main antagonist and Hyrule is saved. Many of the main series Legend of Zelda games follow this formula in some way or another, and I think it's really part of the charm of the series. I love seeing how many ways this basic timeline can be used to tell different, interesting stories with characters that we love and care about deeply by the time the game is over. Number 4, companions. Another staple of the Legend of Zelda franchise is the companions that accompany Link on many of his journeys. The first companion that we saw in the series was Navi, and she was mostly a navigational and informational tool that Link can call on when he's lost. The companion role has really evolved since 1998 though, and our more recent companions have had a much deeper connection to the story and the rest of the world. Fi was the spirit of the Master Sword, Midna was the ruler of the Twilight that invaded Hyrule after Xanth's coup, and the King of Red Lions was the last king of Hyrule before the Great Flood, just to name a few. The companions add another layer of story and help the adventure feel unique to that specific game. The companion also acts as a way to help Link progress through the story or to give exposition in a way that seems natural. Link's companion can be one of the best parts of a Legend of Zelda game, and I really hope that we get to see a new one soon. Number 5, musical instruments. Music is a very important element of the Legend of Zelda series. We've heard dozens of original songs over the years, and in a few of the games, we've even been able to play them ourselves. In Majora's Mask and Ocarina of Time, we have, well, the Ocarina of Time. Some of us also may have tried to learn how to play the Ocarina of Time ourselves. I, for one, failed miserably. There's the Spirit Flute in Spirit Tracks, the Goddess Harp in Skyward Sword, and you spend the entire game in Link's Awakening collecting instruments to play the Ballad of the Windfish. And it's not technically an instrument, but we can also howl as a wolf in Twilight Princess. Often, playing these songs has some kind of special effect, like calling Epona to wherever Link is, teleporting Link, opening up secret passageways, and even making it rain. Basically, songs and music in the Legend of Zelda series have a lot of power and magic behind them, so I really hope that we'll get a new musical instrument soon. They're one of my favorite parts of the game. Number 6, reincarnation. Another huge theme that we see in the Legend of Zelda series is reincarnation. In Skyward Sword, we meet the original Link and Zelda, as well as Demise, who fought with the goddess Hylia thousands of years ago to try and obtain, you guessed it, the Triforce. At the end of the game, Demise places a curse on Link and Zelda, promising that his hatred, the spirit of the hero, and the soul of the goddess would be reborn to oppose each other for all time. Demise's hatred is reborn as Ganondorf, the spirit of the hero of the skies is reborn as our other heroes throughout the years, and the soul of the goddess Hylia is reincarnated into many of the female descendants of Skyloft's Zelda. Between the events of Skyward Sword and Breath of the Wild, we have seen tens of thousands of years of the Triforce bearers being reincarnated over and over again. And hopefully, we won't stop seeing new reincarnations anytime soon. So what did you think of my list of Legend of Zelda tropes? Are there other popular gameplay elements that we see over and over in the Legend of Zelda series that you really enjoy? Let me know in the comments down below. I would love to have a conversation with you guys about it. And if you enjoyed this video, consider giving me a like to help me out in the YouTube algorithm, and maybe even subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos like this every single week. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you next week. Bye!